Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Peace and blessings be upon all you guys. Welcome to the American Muslim Society. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the Outreach Committee's annual Humanity Day. My name is Abraham and I will be the MC for tonight's event. The best way to start off a night like this is some verses from the Quran, the holy book of the Muslims. Would you please welcome Sister Nada Al-Jahmi. There's a paper on the table and it has the verses translated to English. Jazakillahu khair. May Allah bless you and reward you with goodness. Born in Yemen in 1971, after receiving a diploma in education from Teachers Institute in Al-Hudaydah, he attended the University of Science and Technology in Sana'a, where he earned his associate degree in computer programming in 1995. In 2001, he obtained a bachelor's degree in Quran and its sciences from the University of Sana'a. Later in 2017, he received his master's degree in Islamic Studies from the University of Minnesota and is currently pursuing his PhD. Between 1989 and 2004, Imam Hamoud was a teacher and administrator. He served as a religious leader in several communities. In 2005, after immigrating to the US, he was appointed as the Imam and preacher of the American Muslim Society and has since been dedicated to serving his community until today. Imam Hamoud is a member of the Supreme Council of Islamic Affairs in North America, the North American Imams Federation, the Assembly of Muslims Jurists of America, the Imams Council of Michigan. It's my pleasure to welcome Imam Hamoud to the stage.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon all of His prophets and messengers. Brothers, sisters, and respected guests, it's my pleasure and privilege on behalf of the American Muslim Society to welcome you here today to our 2019 Humanity Day event. We are delighted that you came tonight to share in this occasion, and we thank you for gathering with us in solidarity and collaboration. Allow me, please, to greet you first with the traditional Islamic salutation, Assalamu alaikum, peace be with you. For the past 80 years, the American Muslim Society has stood as a pillar. For the past 80 years, the American Muslim Society has stood as a pillar of the local community and advocate of the Islamic values of justice, tolerance, and respect. Our mission is to represent the true message of Islam and to share that message with the world so that we may know and understand each other and stand together to serve our country. Over the years, we have welcomed thousands of guests at open houses, scheduled visits, and seasonal events like this one, where we engage in constructive discussion and work to dispel any misconceptions and misunderstandings. It's only through our concerted efforts and continued dialogue that we can confront ignorance, combat fear, and celebrate our differences as our Creator intended. For Allah says in the Quran, O mankind, indeed we have created you from male and female and made you peoples and tribes that you may know one another. Indeed, the most noble of you in the sight of Allah is the most righteous of you. Indeed, Allah is knowing and acquainted. The blessed month of Ramadan is one such example of unity in diversity. Many of you may know that Ramadan is a month of fasting where all over the world Muslims join together to abstain from food and drink during daylight hours. But this physical cleanse of the body is just a backdrop to enhance the spiritual cleanse that Muslims strive to achieve each year. This is a time of focus and clarity, a time to revitalize our spirits and reaffirm our faith through forgiveness and prayer. Every year, the American Muslim Society hosts its Humanity Day event during the blessed month of Ramadan because there is no better time to be humble and compassionate than now. And speaking of humility and compassion, it's my honor to welcome our special guest speaker tonight, Mr. Richard McKinney. Thank you, Mr. McKinney, for being here and sharing your story. Again, I want to welcome everyone, friends, neighbors, brothers and sisters, esteemed guests. Thank you for enriching this event with your thoughtful perspectives and open smiles. I hope you find this Humanity Day to be a meaningful and worthwhile experience. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Jazakallah khair, Imam Hamoud. May Allah bless you and reward you with goodness. And now we will have a short talk about the Outreach Committee presented by Brother Ayman Al-Masna'. Brother Ayman, the floor is yours.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May the peace and blessings of God be upon you all. We welcome you all, every single one of you, to our mosque, to our place of worship. We appreciate that you took the time out of your Saturday night to come out and be with us. So if we took any of your other events or other family plans, you sacrificed to be with us, we appreciate that. And we recognize that it took a lot to be with us. So thank you for coming out. Honestly, we really appreciate it. We always say, we are always told told, you guys need to reach out, and you guys need to reach out and teach people about your faith, teach people about your religion. You can't blame people for hating on you when there are so many misconceptions out there. It's quite crazy. And so when we do, the turnout isn't always as positive as it is now. So we welcome you. We appreciate your presence, and we hope that you'll come again, and you'll bring a friend or a family member or two. So what we do with the outreach community, like we said, is through the leadership of the Imam, the president of the mosque, and the director, Brother Moslem, we have a program in which we invite universities, church groups, youth groups to come to the mosque. We've had students from the University of Notre Dame come out every year and have a group session in which we have a beautiful dialogue on faith. We have a beautiful discussion on current events in the world. So we're not here just talking about faith. We could be talking about career planning. We could be talking about events that may benefit anyone. We've had students come ask us for academic advice, so it's not necessarily just a place where we just talk about theology. We talk about our own social life and circumstances that shape that. So we've had a church group coming last week from Dearborn, we've had one from Wisconsin, we've had one from Texas and Alabama. So truly we have students and adults and senior citizens from all over the country come out here. I mean, the significance of the mosque is that it is one of the oldest in the U.S. and the oldest in Michigan. So people are attracted to that and they want to learn about these faiths. And quite honestly, we owe it to our neighbors to teach them what our faith truly is. Because at the end of the day, we would rather that we are asked what our faith is than Fox News, than Breitbart or some other media out there. We want to be able to share our narrative. Our narrative is lived by us, and it's only fair that we tell that story. And we welcome you. We appreciate that you're coming to a Muslim mosque to get those answers. I mean, even if you had no questions, to have a good time with your fellow brothers and sisters in humanity. We thank Brother Richard McKinney for coming out, for accepting our invitation. I know most of you have heard his beautiful story, his transformation. I'll leave that for him to say. But I will say Brother Richard is one of many who have been transformed through his path. And that he's not just one person, but out of many that God has guided. People who might have been upon the worst path and have showed them light and has showed them guidance through whatever means it was. And so I'll leave that up to Brother Richard McKinney to tell us the beautiful story. And at the end of this, please make sure to stick after to have the delicious Mediterranean dinner. Don't leave without that, okay? Or else you'll be leaving too much for us. And we are fasting, we are hungry, but we still want to share it with you, okay? So please stick around after, talk to us. I want to get to know you. Again, I end by repeating myself. Thank you for coming out.
Jazakallah khair, Brother Ayman. May Allah bless you and reward you with goodness. Speaking of humility and compassion, it is my honor to welcome our special guest speaker tonight, Brother Richard McKinney. Brother McKinney is a Marine Corps veteran and proud American, having served his country for 25 years in the armed forces, including several tours of the Middle East. And Brother McKinney is a Muslim whose journey to Islam was unconventional to say the least. So thank you, Brother McKinney, for being here and sharing your story. I know everyone will be as inspired as I was when they hear it, and it just goes to show that as easy as it is to condemn people for the views they expose, everyone has in them the capacity to grow and change for the better. We just need to keep our sights and intentions on that positive change. It's an absolute honor to bring to the stage Brother Richard McKinney.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ramadan Mubarak. Is this working?
Yes.
I'd rather walk around. I got a question for my Muslim brothers and sisters in here. Who's hungry? I got jokes. Like you said, my journey to Islam was unconventional. Beyond unconventional, really. Served a lot of time in the military, Marine Corps, Army. I've been on every continent of the world except Antarctica. I used to tell people I'm not going to Antarctica until they decide to put penguins on the terrorist watch list. Then I'll go, because it's cold there. I don't like snow. But throughout those journeys, I've seen a lot of things, a lot of bad things. Is it on? Okay. So throughout my travels, I've seen a lot of things, a lot of bad things, some good things. It always made me appreciate being an American more, being able to come back to America more. But I never really understood that until about a decade ago. A decade ago, 2009, is when I took my Shahada and I became a Muslim. But before that, I was filled with hatred and rage. I hated anything and everything about Islam, about somebody who even looked Islamic. You could have been an Arabic Christian for all I know, but until I find out, you're a bad guy. To the point to where I remember one time, for those of you who haven't seen my video, don't know this, but I went to a shoe store with my wife because husbands, that's what we do. We go to shoe stores with our wives. And there was a couple of Muslim ladies shopping. And they had their outfit on, had their black burqas on. I went over to a chair and I sat there and I cried. Not truly believing in God at that point in my life anyway, but just praying for the courage and praying for the strength to go over there and break both their necks. That's the hatred I had. I felt Islam was a cancer in this world. And until somebody bigger and badder than me changed that, I was going to be the surgeon. I was going to be the one who did everything they could to eradicate this planet of that evil way of thinking. That's how I felt. I actually explained it one time as the hatred I had was like another organ inside my body. And we don't want to lose an organ, right? I was actually afraid to let the hatred go because I was afraid I'd die. So I really felt that was the only thing that was keeping me alive at that point. I'd been medically retired from the Army after 25 years because I got injured in Iraq. And it was my third time with a significant combat-related injury. And they said, listen, you're not a cat. It's time for you to go. I was mad. I was mad because I felt cheated. I laid in my bed at the hospital, and they came in and told me this. And I said, hey, I don't know why you guys are coming and talking to me about retirement. I said, I'm going back to Iraq. No, you're not. Yes, I am. I'm going back to Iraq. Why are you going to go back to Iraq? I'm not done killing Muslims. That's what I told them. Well, you don't tell people like that when you're in a hospital, because then all of a sudden they bring in the crazy doctors and, whatever. But that was my hatred. And now they took it away. I had no more wars. No one else to fight. I just had to go home and be happy with my life, spend my pension, ended up going back to school. It was boring. It's boring, man. It was anything to do with anything to make a stand for. So then, as I thought more about it, I'm asked the question, what really happened to make you hate Islam as bad as you did? What was it? What, the instance that actually came to you? And I said, I really don't know. I mean, it wasn't 9/11. I saw 9/11 as a tragedy, and, but it was, done by some crazy fanatics. That's the way I felt at the time, and stuff that happens around the world is just crazy fanatics. They don't represent this whole group of people. That's the way I thought back then. But I think what I did was I took my beliefs that I had already, my nationalistic beliefs, and I magnified them. And I shot them up with steroids. And that's when I said, Islam's my enemy. So I devised a plan to create my own IED. Kind of poetic justice, I thought. And I was going to set it outside, well actually behind the Islamic Center, in a 55-gallon drum, filled with all kinds of nasty little things. And I was going to set it off on a Friday. That's June service. That's when I know everybody will be there. It's kind of like church in a way, People don't come to Wednesday service, but they'll come to Sunday service. Well, not everybody shows up at the mosque 5 times a day for prayer. They come on June. That's just human. So I know I would get the most of them there. So I was counting on at least about 200 people, men, women, and children. And the whole thing about this is that, I'm not a mastermind criminal. Technology it's crazy. They would figure out who did it. I have no doubts. They would find out who did it. And they would throw me in prison, a federal prison, and I would probably await my execution. So knowing that I would end up eventually laying on a gurney with a needle in my arm didn't faze me. Because you see, what I felt cheated from by getting out of the military was the fact that I wanted to die. I wanted to die a soldier's death. Because, especially here in America, no matter what you've done in your past, if you go off to war and you end up dying and you come back in a flag-draped coffin, all of those sins are forgiven. You will forever and always be known as a hero. Period. Hands down. Can't go wrong. And especially at this point in my life, I lived a full life. Been all over the world, seen a lot of people. Did just about everything I wanted to do at that point. Okay. So, my daughter comes home from school one day. She's about 7 years old at the time. And 6 or 7, I don't know. But she's telling us about this little boy in her class. His mom came to get him from school one day. And when she did, she walked in and she was, my daughter was describing this. Because the beautiful thing about children is children have no prejudice in the body. None. They don't understand prejudice. They think when they hear somebody talk about somebody else because of their color or because of where they come from, they think those people are just silly. Because they don't understand prejudice. And she was explaining this to me, and I knew exactly what it was. And I was like, oh, no. I started spewing a lot of hateful things out of my mouth. But I said, I don't want my daughter, anybody in my family, around those people. Sound familiar? Those people. My daughter looked at me with a total disgust look on her face. And it hit me. And a light bulb came on. So in my egotistical mind, I decided, you know what, I'm going to go meet these people. I'm going to give them one more chance. Like I have so much power, right? But I'm going to give them one more chance before I decide to actually do this. And So I walk into the masjid on a Friday, early, and there's an African American gentleman in the shoe room taking off his shoes. And he's about 10 foot tall. I couldn't tell because he'd been over taking off his shoes until he stood up. And I was like, hey, what's going on? He played basketball in the 70s. He was an NBA player in the 70s. But, so he looks at me and I look at him. And he says, can I help you? And I says, I want you to teach me about Islam. He says, okay. How long you got? I said, I got 2 hours. Now, for us, those of us who have ventured on the study of Islam, or for that matter, any religion, you're not even going to be able to turn a page in 2 hours and really grasp the meaning of what you're reading. Okay, so that kind of tickled me. I said, "Yeah, I got 2 hours." He said, "Well," he smiled at me. He said, "Well, we'll give it a shot." So I hear the Juma service. Sounded pretty good. All right. They're just saying that because I'm here. I already know. You know. But in my ignorance, I'm sitting there, we have a small room. It could probably fit 100 times in the upstairs. We have a smaller room, and in the back, we have these benches for older people, people who can't get up and down, like myself. I'm going to end up there soon someday. But it's where the chairs are, it's where you sit, where visitors sit. I'm sitting back there and I'm looking around. This place is full. There's people out in the hallway. And I'm like, man, I'm the only one in here that's not a Muslim. Oh, this is not good. This is not good. I actually, a quick glimpse of my mind, I said, man, I'm going to end up on AMSDearborn with a sword in my face. And I'm like, oh, Lord. I already know. That's what I thought, because that's where my ignorance was. So I go back. After the service, they introduced me to some more of the brothers, and we talk. We went to the library area, and I sit down, sitting on the couch with a brother, and he hands me a Quran. And I want my brothers and sisters to listen to this very closely, because this is the best thing you can do. He asked me, he said, have you ever read the Quran? And I said, nah. I says, he goes, well, here, I want you to take this home, read it, come back when you have questions. Best advice for starting a conversation between a Muslim and someone that's not Muslim. Read it, come back when you have questions. So these people have no idea who I really am. I'm just there, somebody who's curious about Islam. That's it. So I took his advice. Oh, well, before I leave, there's another guy come up to me, an older gentleman, a little bit older than me. It's getting hard to say older person now because I'm getting old. But older gentleman, found out he was a doctor, very successful family practitioner there in the local community. He comes up to me, doesn't know me from anybody, sits at my feet, and hugs my leg, cries, and tells me about the love of Islam. And I'm like, man, this guy's a doctor. I don't know about it. And you know how in society we rank people on their social status, their careers, and everything like that. You got your doctors, and your professors, and your scientists, and your astronauts, and way down here you got lawyers, but that's too much short. And it just, man, I said, gotta be something more to this. This guy, because American culture, we don't do that stuff, man. That's just, So I took the advice. I went home, I read it. I watched videos, some good, some bad. They still had a lot of bad ones. The really bad ones were still on YouTube and stuff at that time. And so, and I kind of tried to take the videos and the context of the videos and relate them to what I was reading out of the Quran. And okay, I was reading some listening to scholars on YouTube talking about certain verses and entries in the Quran. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. And then I was watching the nasty videos about the terrorists and all that other stuff. And I was trying to relate that to the Quran. I couldn't. It didn't click. Nothing that they were doing was clicking with what was in the book. Didn't know that. Now granted, I did find some passages in there that made me go back. And at a few points in my reading, I was like, oh, I got them here. I busted them out on this one. This one, they're wrong for. And I go back and I ask them about it. And they explained it. And they would explain it in a way that I could understand what they were talking about, what it actually meant. They didn't try to answer a parable with another parable. They just gave me a plain answer. This is what this meant. This is what this was for. And about 8 weeks from the first day that I stepped foot into that Islamic center, I went back and asked to take my Shahada, or my declaration of faith, to become a Muslim. Because I knew I had found answers to things that I was questioning in my own life for so long. And I found something that was going to help me carry on for the rest of my days. And ever since then, ever since I became a Muslim, I have been out there to talk to people about releasing this hatred. Not just for Muslims. There's hatred everywhere for all kinds of things. And we watch the news. It's not just Muslims that are being attacked. Churches are being blown up and set on fire. Synagogues are being vandalized. Hateful, ignorant actions. All of this can be avoided. Now, I can't speak for everybody in here, but I truly believe we all come from the same Creator. That one Creator has the same purpose for all of us. Number one mission is get along. Why are you hating each other? Not me back here, I'm just speaking generally. Why is everybody hating everybody? It's like, and I'm not even going to mention his name because this is a house of Allah. I don't want to mention his name. But it's like it's in fashion now to hate. It's like, oh, look at my new hate. Hey, you like those? My new hate. It's my hate. It's a social thing now. Like back in the 80s, smoking used to be a social thing. So social smoking. Now that's like an unheard of term. Hating. It's socially acceptable now. But I found out, and I thought about it. Being from the Midwest, the only thing we got to hate is the New England Patriots. I know it's wrong, but man, I don't like it. But there's nothing for us to hate. We're all the same, but yet we will always be different. She will always be a female. I will always be a male. That's not going to change. I will always be white. He will always be black. That's not going to change. What does that matter? It doesn't. That's the thing. It doesn't matter. What matters is what you have inside of you. What matters is what you have inside of you. And you willing to make that change. Muslims, my brothers and sisters, this is the month of Ramadan. This is the time for you to act. We have less energy this month, but it doesn't matter. We're just supposed to act. Now's the time. We have less than 1% of our population in the world speaking for us. Out of 1.6 billion Muslims, 1% is speaking for the rest of us. And that's the image everybody has of Islam. That's our fault. People have the impression of Islam that they have because it's our fault. We dropped the ball. You need to get out there. You need to do your dawah. Just talk to people. People are curious. They want to know. You don't need to make anybody a Muslim. That's not up to you. Just answer their questions. Smile. Be friendly. I'm going to close with a statement. Or, yeah, I guess. I don't know. Kind of a statement. Back in the 60s, there was an intelligent, articulate, eloquent man that walked this earth. His name was Martin Luther King Jr. Famous words, I have a dream. Beautiful. Beautiful. Everybody coexisting, everybody getting together, and everybody being friendly. But I ask you now, I give everybody in here the mission. Do not call it a dream. Call it a plan. Thank you.
Jazakallah khair, Brother Richard McKinney. May Allah bless you and reward you with goodness. Thank you again for sharing your experience with Islam. And now we're going to have a short welcome speech presented by the President of the American Muslim Society, Dr. Mahdi Ali.
Assalamu alaikum. First, I would like to welcome all of you today to our event. Thank you for accepting our invitation. I hope that you will like the program as well as the food. So if you don't like the program, we still have the food. So, we have so many great guests from our neighbors, from our friends, from everywhere. I know some of them here. Thank you for coming. So we have Pastor Donald Beasley from Ford Memorial United Methodist Church. Thank you, Pastor. Thank you for coming today. I know it's a Saturday night, you have so many things to do, but you'd rather to be with us, so that's great. Also, we have also David Norwood. David Norwood is, so how did they know David? So there was a story, almost like 15 years ago. So when we opened this expansion of the mosque, David at that time used to be the director for the safety and building department, responsible for all giving permit for all buildings, commercial buildings. So we wanted to open the building, and the inspector came and he gave us a whole list of things. I said, oh man, it's going to take us 5 years to do this. So, and some of them were not clear, so they told me, you know what, go to David. And I went to David, and he was a great help. He clarified everything, and we were open to open this box. So thank you, David, for coming today. And also, today we brought his wife, Sheila. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. We also have two special guests coming to us today. We have a program, it's sponsored by the University or run by the University of Michigan of Dearborn. This program is to against pollutions, to educate community, to educate youth about pollutions, how to fight pollutions, how to measure pollutions. Because you know this area is an industrial area, and we have a problem with pollution. So we have a great program that is run by the University of Michigan, and we have two great professors that is overseeing this program. So we have Dr. Carmel Price. Thank you for coming. We have Dr. Samson. Thank you also for coming. I don't want to take so much of the time because we are approaching Adhan, which is we're gonna break our fast soon. So thank you, thanks everyone. Sorry if I did not mention any names, but please, we love you. Thank you for coming today, and we hope you enjoy the dinner today. Thank you.
Jazakallah khair, Dr. Mahdi. May Allah reward you and bless you with goodness. After this, we will move to the prayer hall, and you will hear the adhan, which is Islamic call to prayer. In Islamic tradition, Muslims are called to the 5 scheduled daily prayers by a formal announcement called the adhan. The adhan is called out from the mosque by the mu'adhin. The meaning of adhan. The Arabic word adhan means to listen. The ritual serves as a general statement of shared belief and faith for Muslims, as well as an alert that prayers are about to begin inside the mosque. A second call, known as iqamah, then summons the Muslims to line up for the beginning of the prayers. Arabic translation of the adhan is as follows: Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allah is greater, and it's recited 4 times. The call to prayer is a reminder of what is important in life. One notices that the call to prayer does not state that God is the greatest, but greater. This is because regardless of what one might be doing at that moment, they are to remember that God is greater than that thing. Next, the mu'adhin says, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. I bear witness that there is none worthy of worship except Allah. And it's recited twice. Islam's fundamental belief is the unity of God. All other beliefs hang on this belief. Therefore, the acknowledgement and bearing witness of this is the key to the Muslim faith. Unless this is observed, one cannot be a Muslim. A Muslim accepts only one God, the only Master, Lord and Ruler, with no partner sharing in any way His being, powers and attributes. He is one, He is unique, He is not the father of anyone, nor He has or had any father. He is almighty and self-sustaining. He is there forever and will be there forever. The mu'adhin then says, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. I bear witness that Muhammad is a messenger of Allah, peace be upon him. And it's recited twice. The belief in the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, as a servant and messenger of God completes one's faith. The Holy Prophet was the last of all the messengers, peace be upon them. The mu'adhin then says, Hayya ala salah, Hayya ala salah. Come to prayer, and it's recited twice. Muslims must put aside what occupies them at the moment and respond to God's call. Success is found in prayer because prayer is what softens the heart and makes one a better person. The mu'adhin then says, Hayya ala al-falah, Hayya ala al-falah. Come to success, and it's recited twice. The Islamic definition of success is not in heaven or not having, but in obeying God. This life will ultimately come to an end, and all of the materialistic things used to define success will wither away. What remains is the good one that one did and their connection to God. The mu'adhin then says, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. God is greater, Allah is greater. And it's recited twice. And then he concludes with, La ilaha illallah. There is none worthy of worship except Allah. One more thing. Last thing we're going to do is we're going to perform prayer. We're going to have a brother come up here, Brother Hussein Saeed, and I will explain what he's going to be doing. Takbir. Although Muslims can pray to God at any time, there are 5 prayers they are obligated to perform throughout the day. They follow the same pattern so everyone can follow in congregation. Takbir is entering into the state of prayer by glorifying God. Muslims face towards Mecca. He's not facing towards Mecca now because he's showing you guys how prayer is performed. And make the intention to pray. To begin the act of prayer, we say Allahu Akbar, God, meaning God is great, raising the hands to the ears or shoulder. Qiyam. Muslims place their right hand over their left on their chest or while in the standing position. A short supplication glorifying God and seeking His protection is read. This is then followed by Surah Al-Fatiha, which is the first chapter in the Quran. Verses from any other chapter are then recited. Ruku'. Ruku' means bowing. During ruku' Muslims say, Glory be to God, the Most Great, 3 times. During prayer it is forbidden to fidget or look around. Muslims must pray as though they are in the presence of God, and therefore must be in state of concentration. Brief qiyam. While moving into the upright positions, Muslims recite, God listens to the one who praises Him. And while in the standing position, to God belongs all praise, then is recited. God is great is recited again. Hands are loosely at the sides this time. Each movement is always preceded by the phrase, Allah, God is great. This indicates to followers of the prayer that the leader is about to make the next movement, sujood. Sujood means to prostrate. While in the prostration position, glory be to God the Most High is repeated 3 times. Palms, knees, toes, forehead, and nose must be the only body parts touching the ground. Brief sitting. God is great is recited while moving to this position. Muslims pause here for a few seconds, either staying silent or reciting a shorter prayer. God is great is recited one more time as the sujood position is taken again. Sujood. This sujood is the same as the first one. After reciting Glory be to God the Most High, one rak'ah or unit is complete. Each salah has its own number of units though. The shortest prayer is Fajr, the dawn prayer, and it has 2 units. To continue the prayer from the sujood position, Muslims say God is great and stand up to repeat everything from Surah Al-Fatiha until they reach this sujood again. Tashahhud. After saying God is great, Muslims return to the sitting position. They recite a certain number of short prayers in Arabic, praising God and sending peace on the Prophet. They repeat the declaration of faith, raising the forefinger of their right hand in order to act as a witness. They then ask God to bestow blessings and peace upon Prophet Abraham and his family, and ask for the same for Prophet Muhammad. Finally, Muslims ask for forgiveness and mercy and ask God to bless them and their children until the Day of Judgment. Peace to the right. To end the prayer, Muslims first turn their face to the right, saying, Peace be upon you, and the mercy and blessings of Allah. This is said to the angels which Muslims believe accompany each human being to record their actions. Peace to the left. Peace be upon you, and the mercy and blessings of Allah is repeated, turning to the left side now. Muslims believe the angel on the right side records all good actions and thoughts, while the one on the left records all bad actions. Thank you. Jazakallah khair. May Allah reward you.